Good morning. How are you today? Good. Welcome to Introduction to Psychology. So, did you have a good weekend?
Oh yeah, wonderful.
Okay, yeah, weather is cooler, so we enjoy the much cooler weather. So we kind of stop here. It's still chapter 3. Last week, I don't know, I just kind of, you need to take an exam, but we couldn't. But actually, the exam is this Friday. So we will be done this chapter, which is, exam will cover chapter 1, chapter 2, and chapter 3. It's an online exam, so this Friday, you can take your exam anytime you want, but there's a time limit, so read the instruction and take your exam. But today we are going to finish chapter 3 and then go to chapter 4, and this Thursday we will talk about chapter 4 as well, but your exam will be this Friday, just in case if you're confused. Sorry about that. So we kind of stop here, what if we are kind of playing with a snowball in the winter time and somebody hits you on your chin? How do you feel? Like a little, like a pressure. Yeah, stinging, cold. Yes, yes. Yeah, so those are like a sensation. It's a skin, yeah, through skin. We do have, covering our whole body, skin senses. Those are somatosenses, yeah. So we do feel those touch feeling and those temperature and pain, even like a pain, yeah. So those about the somatosenses. So let's talk about phantom limb pain. Some people, maybe certain reason, they need to amputate their leg and arms, and it can be really challenging for them because it's just so painful. So they make a decision to amputate their limb or maybe leg. But they still suffer those pain. So we will watch one video clip and talk a little bit about phantom limb pain.
It's a pain people with amputations may feel in an invisible limb, but Dr. David Burbrayer, a physiatrist at Sunnybrook, explains phantom pain is very much real.
The phantom pain is coming from the brain. It's a perceived impression, what we call an engram. The brain has a picture of your residual limb that's absent.
Bruce Tompkins lost his leg when an infection settled into his bones and he developed an advanced stage of localized osteoporosis.
I was actually walking on 6 broken bones when it was finally diagnosed, and I only had really 2 choices: to live with the amount of pain that I was living in and not walk normal, or lose the limb and start a new life with a prosthetic, and I chose the latter, of course. There was a month at least where I went through a mental crisis saying, how can a leg that I don't even have cause this kind of pain, The phantom pain that I get daily, which I still get, is just kind of a tingling and a numbing. Just allows you to realize that feels like your limb is still there. But the severe phantom pain, I can only describe it as your foot being in a bucket of water with piranhas in it or hot coals. It gets so debilitating that I've actually huddled into a corner and just cried myself to sleep because it just won't go away.
So how can you treat pain in a limb that doesn't exist? Experts say with a mirror and an open mind.
Mirror therapy is using a mirror between the limbs in order to allow the brain to think that the intact limb is the absent limb, and then allow a professional to treat the intact limb as if it were the absent limb.
And go.
If, for example, the toes are curled up and on the absent limb, as the patient perceives it, if they could move the toes on the intact limb and move it up and down, the brain will tell the individual that the toes on the amputated limb is now moving, and that will allow less pain and less discomfort in the residual. And that's an example. And it works. It's effective in terms of treating pain.
And I had a full-blown attack on the Saturday night there. One of the ones that would have made me medicate myself and just curl up and just pray that it would go away. And about 20 minutes using the mirrors, it was completely gone. And
But Dr. Burbrayer warns mirror therapy may not work for everyone. Patients need to be emotionally and mentally ready, willing to try, and persistent in using the mirrors.
It's going to be a lifelong process, but I think for now it's the results are fantastic. I'm not afraid of getting up in the morning and how much pain I'm going to deal with all day. I have a way to deal with it now that is working, and the more I work it, the more it'll work for me. And I'm not having a lot of phantom pain these days.
At Sunnybrook's St. John's Rehab, I'm Catherine Nasmick.
So let's talk a little bit about those. So why do you think maybe people suffer phantom pain? Because, I mean, if they don't have a limb or maybe leg anymore, but why do they, any guess?
Just your brain has been used to having that limb for so long
Yeah.
that it's just not really dealing with the fact that it's gone. It's just imagining that there's pain still there.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's really sad because, they really want to remove their pain, but pain is still there and, it can be challenging for them. But the good thing is mirror therapy. Basically, if you don't have maybe one of those limb, looking at the mirror, kind of moving your the other side of a limb, looks like because your limb is moving here. So kind of helping those discomfort and kind of support those pain. Reduce those pain of the other limb. So that's the way, and at least there's some solution, which is good and awesome. Okay, so last slide of this chapter. Kinesthetic sense and vestibular sense, those are other senses. We've been talking about when we see, when we taste, when we touch, and when we smell, and our skin senses like a pain and pressure, and those temperature. This is another sense, kinesthetic sense. So Daniel, can you close your eyes? Yeah, close your eyes. I'm gonna close my eyes too. And can you lift your right arm? Yeah. It's there, and maybe put down your arm. And can you raise your left arm? Yes. And then maybe raise down. And you may open. Yay. So when you kind of close your eyes, even you close your eyes, you can sense a little bit where the location of your right arm and left arm, because those are kind of connected, kinesthetic sense, So knowing the position of our body, where it is located. So when we move, that's why when we move like a left leg and right leg, we know where it goes. How can you kind of run and walk, and because we can proportionally try to figure it out, the location of each our body portion. So even you close your eyes, we can walk a little bit, even though I close my eyes, but I can walk a little bit because I can sense my position of my body. And, because I know this is like a desk and there's an open area. So even though I'm closing my eyes, I can go this way instead of toward those desks. Those are all related in the kinesthetic sense. The other one is vestibular sense. It's a balance. Looking at this person, he seems like doing some tight roping, try to be very thin rope and very good balance. Maybe we can tell it's really good balance. So that person should have a good kinesthetic sense too, because kind of in the air and try to make a good balance of your two arms, and bless you, and your whole body, torso, and then leg and toes, right? So that means this person has a really good kinesthetic sense and also vestibular sense, like a balance. So I want to ask you, do you think that you have a good balance, your body?
No, I don't. I definitely don't. But I was kind of wondering, I don't know, your mind really does do a lot of that. Like at the same time as that specific vestibular sense, it's like if you're kind of scared when you're crossing over a log or something and you got like
Yes.
At that point, I don't have much balance. But if I'm just walking on a curb, I got balance. You know what I mean? So it just depends on my mindset.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So maybe the balance itself, maybe it's really matter of the environment and context. We can kind of adjust, right? More psychological input we need to understand, right? Yeah. But when you kind of thinking only biological, function, vestibular sense is inside of our ear. Do you still remember the anatomy of ear? Yeah, we
I
can.
remember
Yeah.
it's got the balance. So
Yeah.
like if
So
you-
we can kind of go. Oh, right here. Yeah. So looks like a little snail. Yeah. And the ossicles, those are little tiny bones and semicircular canal because inside there's like a fluid. Yeah. And right here, those are more like a vestibule, kind of relating with our balance. Those are cochlear. So when you kind of cut here, it's a hearing sense is right here. So balance is more like right here, but connected with the semicircular because it's not full circle, kind of a half circle. So we call it semicircular canal. So, I can explain when you do I'm kind of dizzy and going around when you're a child. And I stop. I feel a little dizzy, like you stop, but still your room is going around because we do have a fluid inside of those semicircular canal, and luckily we have those vestibule, so try to make a good balance. But I really like your input because maybe it's relating with our fear, amygdala in our brain, right? Relating with the fear, and then situation. Maybe under, on top of those liver, there's like a little like a limb we need to go. Definitely, I cannot do it. It's relating with maybe some fear of a height.
Yeah,
And
and kinesthetic. 'Cause,
yeah.
I mean, I said and kinesthetic a little bit, knowing where your extremities are at.
Uh-huh.
Because when you're balancing, walking on that tightrope, you got to know how to balance your arms. and
Yeah.
everything.
Very good point. So I believe this man doesn't have maybe much fear comparing to us. No, I mean like comparing to maybe typical person, maybe not much fear, maybe enjoy and having good balance. Probably really good concentration, focusing on only his foot instead of looking at surrounding area. So I think that's all matter to do well. Have a good balance. So that was like a chapter 3. Did you enjoy this chapter 2?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So chapter 2 was more like a brain development, how each brain kind of function and behavior kind of connect. And this is like a chapter 3 is extension, kind of extension of chapter 2, because we didn't talk about specifically our sensory receptor, like a hearing and vision and taste and sense and balance. So we are going to passing this kind of more biological kind of basic information. So now we can kind of confidently go to consciousness, which is like a chapter 4, consciousness more relating with your cognition and cognitive psychology and cognitive development. So it will be fun chapter. So let's go. So chapter 4, we will talk about consciousness. So consciousness, we will talk about sleep. So how many hours do you sleep? I mean, you told me.
About 8 hours.
8 hours, which is good. Yeah, but you told me you do not maybe reach the deep sleep, probably kind of shallow sleep. Yeah.
Which comes to my point of I say I got 8 hours of sleep, but like I've been trying to go to bed at 9 and wake up at 5 to like go work out and stuff, and I just can't do that. I still wake up later than that and get about 9 to 10 hours of sleep, and that's probably because of my late sleep.
Okay, yes, thank you. So we will talk about sleep today and dreams. So Daniel, do you dream a lot or maybe not really?
I believe I dream almost every night. It just
Almost
depends
every
on
night?
it just depends on if I remember it.
Okay, yeah. So I gave you those dream journal. Yeah, dream journal. If you're watching my lecture, I already put the dream journal through the Blackboard. I mean, you don't need to turn it in and anything else. This is not an assignment. But since we are going to meet this Thursday, if you have any dream, can you write down and then share with us? Because usually when you wake up, you do remember Barry, but you do not remember at all when you kind of 1 hour later. So if you kind of put this paper maybe near your bed, and then when you wake up, You just kind of write down. Yeah, that would be cool.
My
So.
dreams are better than movies, I swear.
Oh, okay, okay. That's exciting to hear. So, for the dream journal, you place a pen and pencil near your bed, yeah, and make sure you have a light source. I mean, it doesn't need to because when you kind of get up, maybe you can kind of write down, right? So, before going to sleep, concentrate on the idea that you are going to remember your dreams. So try to at least this time, Danielle. And when you awaken, keep your eyes closed and run through the dream several times until it is fixed in your mind. And sit up and turn on the light and record your dream on the sheet. So here, considering, I mean, it doesn't need to exactly same information, but thinking about where was it happening? Maybe in my house, maybe outside at RSU, yeah. And character, yeah. There's like a monster, one monster. And there's a mom and something, yeah, there's some character and me, and nature of the interaction, or say friendly, aggressive, scary, because maybe you may feel even during the dream, right? Yeah, so you can kind of describe it a little bit, and activities and what did you do, like running, climbing, maybe go to school, and maybe about learning about hippocampus, those things, right? Yeah, emotions, experience, yeah, fear, confusion, and joy, and anger. So you can write down, and relationship of a dream to previous event or upcoming event, because sometimes our dream is an extension of our daily life or maybe our hope. Yeah, maybe you want to be a nurse, and maybe you are already a nurse and take care of other patients. Yeah, so it can be your dream too. So think about that. Anything weird and unusual, so you fly. So whenever you take care of your each patient, instead of walk, you fly, and then kind of do. So I guess that's really cool. Yeah.
Do you think they've studied enough to where they understand deja vu?
So deja vu is, we are gonna cover those deja vu too, but honestly, it can happen to anybody.
I swear I've done
Yes.
things before and it just clicks in my head. Man, I had been here before.
Yes, usually when you kind of recognize some place, like an object and building, it's just, oh, I've been here. I remember it was a couple of years ago, maybe maybe 1 month ago. It's exactly same things happen. Maybe you may feel in that way too.
Oh man, I've predicted stuff before.
Okay.
I don't know. The brain's weird.
Uh-huh.
I've definitely thought, what if this happened, and then
It's exactly
happened.
happening.
Yeah, and I've spoke it to my friends before, and then it happens, and then they're like,
Oh wow!
"What the heck?"
Wow! That means maybe you should go somewhere else to become like a palm reader. Yeah, that's really unique the experience to you, and we can talk about those dreams too. So this is like a consciousness, anything like a sleep, dream, hypnosis. Have you ever got hypnotized? Me neither. Would you like to, or maybe don't want to?
No, because I know the brain can actually. Yeah, no.
No?
Definitely not.
Yeah, me neither. So, those people who doesn't want to get hypnotized, it's really hard to get hypnotized.
Yeah.
That means if you're willing to hypnotize and maybe enjoy those relaxation during those hypnosis, probably that's the really good candidate.
Yeah.
Can hypnotize. But just like us, I don't want to get hypnotized. It's really hard to get hypnotized.
I heard an empty mind is, I don't know how to explain it, it's dangerous. It opens your mind up to stuff.
Okay.
But that's what you have to be empty-minded for that hypnosis, for it to take over.
Okay, concentration and like a feeling like everything's let go
Yeah,
and
focusing
relax
on
your
something,
body. Yeah, so I've never done that, but I don't want to. But we will talk about it a little bit, because hypnosis, obviously, those are altered state of consciousness. And also it can it can reduce our pain, some chronological pain, so it still works. Maybe stop smoking somehow during those session of hypnosis. You just kind of develop those stopping, smoking. So we will talk a little bit about those. And psychoactive drugs and consciousness. Daniel, do you like drinking? Not really? Yeah.
I get headaches enough.
Okay.
So I don't like
You
giving
don't like-
myself a headache.
Yeah.
On purpose.
Okay, okay. So drinking, and maybe we can talk about smoking and coffee drinking, caffeine consumption. Yeah, I know you do not like coffee much either. Yeah, I mean, same with me.
Caffeine's the same. Though.
Yeah, but some people really matter drinking coffee or not, because if you do not drink coffee, because you used to drink coffee every morning, you cannot function, right? Yeah. So we will talk about psychoactive drugs. So in this sense, like a drug, even though I kind of put the drug, we will talk about caffeine, coffee consumption, and maybe smoking and nicotine, how those are, addicted, and also. Yeah, those maybe other drugs too, opiate and MDMA, like more ecstasy and all things too. But more likely, we will talk about our daily, kind of experience, just like a college student. So psychoactive drugs and consciousness and other altered state of consciousness. So altered state of consciousness, we will practice mindfulness, those yoga and breathing exercise, because sometimes we really need it, kind of control and calm down. So we will practice those. And maybe I can share about, we do not take exam in person, but for the in-person exam, right before taking exam, I do relaxation activity. I introduce a little bit in chapter 1, so we can do together. It's really fun too. So maybe I can share with you, even though we do not take an exam today. This chapter, but I will share those mindfulness exercise. So it will be interesting chapter and also relaxing chapter too. Okay, so let's go. So what is consciousness? Okay. Yes. Okay. So what is consciousness? Okay. So the first thing is, when you're thinking about a Buddhist monk engaged in meditation, thinking about that situation, and Jeff, who is a regular recreational drug user, and Kinyoa, a high school student who has volunteered to be hypnotized at her after prom program. So 3 of them, they're maybe not fully awakened. Like a little bit of maybe deeper kind of relaxation, a little bit of meditation, and recreational drug user, and hypnotized. That's not fully conscious. Maybe we can kind of say, right? Because consciousness, awareness of yourself and your surroundings. So I want to ask you. So are you awakened, fully awakened now?
Oh, yeah.
Without any coffee.
Well, I definitely drank some caffeine this morning.
Oh, what did you drink? Like energy drink?
I drank a fruit-flavored energy drink. It was Mango Loco.
Okay, what's the name of the,
It's a Monster.
Monster. Okay, Monster. Because I heard Red Bull is really good taste comparing to other, but the sound really good, like a mango
They're
Monster.
definitely not healthiest, so I try and stay away from them. But I got like 7 hours of sleep last night. So
Okay.
I drink
Okay. So how many milligrams of caffeine? Have you checked those?
that one was 150.
Okay, so we will talk about caffeine consumption maybe at the end of this chapter. So people say 400 milligram per day. Do not excess over 400 per day milligram of caffeine. So which is good if you drink only 1 Monster.
I won't be drinking another.
So we will talk about those. So consciousness versus altered state of consciousness. So this chapter we will talk about other altered state of consciousness. First one is sleep. Daniel usually try to go back to sleep around 9 because he has a very early morning class, 8:30, and need to leave home 1 hour earlier. So try to go back to sleep early and try to have a good sleep, at least like 7 to 8 hours, which is really good because I realize not many college students, they can keep 7 to 8 hours of sleeping. Somehow they just kind of sleep 3 hours and 4 to 5 hours and feeling very not refreshing and it's not good, right? So we will talk about sleep. And have you ever thought about why do we sleep?
So your brain can rest and recuperate and just rebuild all of the micro tears in your muscles and whatever you had going on that day?
Yes, very good, very good. You covered pretty much all the reason, but depending on theory, yeah, maybe we can kind of talk about which theory is your favorite. Yeah, theory. Maybe they try to explain why do we sleep. The first one is inactivity theory. It's more like happening when you're thinking about ancient time, our ancestors. So there's no light, yeah, and only we live in like in nature. If you do not move at the nighttime, possibilities like maybe big animals, they're not gonna notice you. So maybe you can kind of save in that way. So in activity theory, maybe that's why we need to sleep at the nighttime without any light. Because in the morning, bright sunshine, you go outside and you can kind of protect yourself well. But at nighttime, if you go around, maybe a big tiger maybe eat you.
You can fall off a cliff.
Yeah, so those are like an inactivity theory. And energy conservation theory, of course, at the nighttime, we do use less energy compared to like in the daytime. So you can kind of, reserve your energy for the next day, yeah? And restorative theory, just like you mentioned, all our fatigues can restore, and, like a brain function can restore, so all the restorative theory. So that makes sense too. And brain plasticity theory, that's interesting because when we dream, those REM sleep, it's kind of during those rapid eye movement sleep. I will explain more about the REM sleep and non-REM sleep. Yeah. So REM, have you ever heard of like a REM sleep and REM?
I did,
Yeah.
to find out my light sleep, remember?
Okay.
Yeah, I had a Fitbit to track my sleep cycles.
Okay.
And I did not have much deep sleep at all.
Oh, so through those 50, you realize you do not have not much
Yeah,
deep sleep.
like I said, I had slept about 8 hours and I only had like 1 hour of deep sleep, and the rest was waking up.
Oh, I
staying
see.
awake.
Yeah. So we will talk about that, like sleeping patterns today. So REM sleep, which is rapid eye movement sleep. During those REM sleep, usually adult we do dream. That's kind of our dreaming stages. But the rapid eye movement REM sleep for the infant, like a newborn baby, they are not dreaming during those time. They're more like actively building those neurons and synapses. Do you remember my neurons and kind of connected that one? Yeah.
It was a good representation. It actually helped me remember.
Yeah, those, building more neurons and synapses and, brain development will happen while they are having those REM sleep. So brain plasticity theory, we do also adult, we do make those, brain, making neurons and synapses, but usually it will happen for the baby who are just born, newborn baby during those REM sleep, they are having rapid brain development. So we need to have a good enough sleep, yeah? The last one is like evolutionary theory, like memory. Do you still remember what area of your brain is relating with your memory?
Hippocampus.
Very good, very good. So when you come to campus, we try to learn and receive information and remember, right? So learning and memory is relating with the hippocampus. So while you're sleeping, you do remember better, memory consolidation. So we will talk about that one. And also memory, chapter 6, chapter 5 or 6, those are whole chapter about memory. So we will talk about memory, so it will be interesting chapter 2. So memory consolidation will happen while you are sleeping. So we will talk about those sleeping and why do we need to sleep. So which theory is more makes sense? I know maybe we kind of agree like a restorative theory, yeah? Because first one is more like maybe not applicable for nowadays, yeah. So, and also memory too, we do need to have a good enough sleep so we can remember better, yeah. So maybe my class is only online exam, but maybe you have other classes, like 5 other classes. So do you take the exam in class?
I think it depends on the midterm will be in class,
Okay.
but most of it is online now.
I see, which is good. So when you have an in-class midterm exam, technically you need to sleep well on the night time. And the trick is if you keep studying until 9, because usually you go to bed at 9, kind of keep studying and studying, the content is still there. And if you have a good sleep in the morning and do not do much other things and straight go to that place and take the exam, you may remember better because during the whole night, you kind of having those information as a last, like a minute of those, and then maybe get up and do not go, like maybe other places, but go to class and take exam. I mean, supposed to be you remember better based on those memory, memory function. So since there are so many people who suffer sleep deprivation, we will watch a little video clip about sleep deprivation. What will happen to our body? Okay.
Sleep deprivation is when you get less than the recommended amount of sleep. So say 8 hours per night for an adult, maybe 9 to 10 hours per younger person. So sleep deprivation would be when you get less than the optimum amount of sleep. I don't get enough sleep because I have children. So they require a lot of my time. I also have to get very, very early for one child at 6 a.m. Then of course they're up until 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And I would like an hour or so of me time before I go to bed. So that keeps me up later and later. But honestly, it's just the fact that I look at my phone before I go to bed.
I feel sleep deprived a couple times a week just because of juggling a job and school and things like that.
Some of the reasons I don't get enough sleep, I'm on the phone, or I'm binge watching, or I get off of work late, so when I get off, I'm just kind of up. I don't want to go to sleep, even though I need to.
I was sleep deprived in my very first semester because it was just a total change from high school to college. The change of it put a lot of stress on me, and it just made me not get enough sleep, and that caused me to fall back on homework, and I just had a bad start because of it. I learned from my experience. I don't want to repeat that. So yeah, I just stay away from sleep deprivation for sure.
When I don't get enough sleep, I feel tired for the most part. I don't have any motivation to really do anything. It's just another day, great. I don't look forward to it sometimes, to go out and go to work and go to school.
Like my eyelids are heavy, that my feet are heavy, that I am slower to move. I feel sluggish, my get up and go is gone, and I really don't feel motivated to kind of do the things I need to do, so I don't do them. I know that I could be paying more attention in class, but sleep deprivation robs my focus.
I definitely don't realize the extent of sleep deprivation's effects on me until something bad happens or something bad nearly happens that I realize that I could have taken proper precautions to prevent a particular thing from happening by just simply paying attention and being more alert.
Sleep is the number one most important thing. When you're not getting enough of it, you're not getting what your body fully needs.
So the sleep deprivation, when you do not have a good enough sleep, there are lots of things happen. So Daniel, since you have a very shallow and light sleeper, anything would you share with us if you do not have a good enough sleep, and what happened to you?
It didn't particularly happen to me, but I did some research on it just because I would be doing really long drives for the military, and I would just pull over to sleep on the side of the highway just so I could make it home.
Sure.
Well, I found out it's actually illegal to drive with sleep deprivation. It's a form of DUI. You are equivalent to being drunk if you have sleep deprivation and try and drive. That's how it affects your brain.
I see. And also dangerous too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I still remember, it's a long time ago, one of my friends, she need to commute just like you, 1 hour, apart from the school. And one day she was so tired and she thought that she was driving, but she was driving on that, between those big highway, there's like a little kind of field, maybe I can say some flower field, a flower kind of field of those way. She was kind of running those fields. So when she wake up, she was a little feeling odd, but she was kind of running those roads. So after that, she told me she tried to have a good enough sleep, so not to fall asleep, and she was kind of keep going. But I guess that can be it may be really dangerous, right? Okay, so when you do not have a good enough sleep, obviously irritability, maybe you can be angry easily because even small thing but kind of irritates you, and moodiness, and cognitive slowing, you do not get it even though you read a couple of times, you do not still get the concept, and cognitive rigidity, and decreased motivation, and unintended sleep. So motivation-wise, you are here, your body is here, but you feel like, I don't know what's going on, I don't care much. So it's really, it's hard. Sleep deprivation. So try to have a good enough sleep. Sometimes you cannot control, you need to take a medicine, but if it is okay for you, try to go back to sleep like early enough and having good enough sleep. That's really important. So here, circadian rhythm, underline, maybe you heard of a circadian rhythm 24 hours. So among 24 hours, maybe people recommend 7 to 8 hours good sleeping. But I know college students, sometimes they don't have much time, only 3 hours sleep. It can be really challenging for their daily life. So when I ask, so Daniel, do you feel like you're a night owl or maybe early bird?
I'll try and be an early bird.
Early bird, okay, yeah. So it's really depending on you. You may really prefer to do productive work at the nighttime and rather sleep in the morning. But it's depending on, it's kind of relating with the circadian rhythm too, how you adjust in that way. So time of the day, if you're thinking about that, around 11 and before those 11 and 12, those are maybe peak moment. We can kind of highly being alert. So I'm so lucky to have you guys, because this is like a high alert moment entire year, like 24 hours usually for the people. So those are kind of between like 10 and 11:30 and 12. So those are like a high alert moment. So here, we will watch one more short video clip about circadian rhythm.
Circadian rhythm is the brain's way of signaling to the body that it's time for sleep. So it generally goes along with when the sun rises and sun sets. Usually, the sun comes up and, body temperature starts to rise, your heart rate starts to rise, blood pressure, signaling your body to wake up. Then your brain wakes up, you're more alert, and you go about your day.
I'm a night person. My peak is usually at night, but whenever I have work at 6:45 in the morning, my peak has to be like through midday or else I won't make it through it. So I usually have to use like coffee to try and get myself awake in the morning to try and like perk up since I'm more awake at night, and then I have to find something that'll soothe my mind at night to try and get me to go to sleep.
I'm more of a night owl. I tend to stay up pretty late at night, and that's partly due with social media and stuff, and then also the last job I worked overnight, and so that kind of messed up my circadian rhythm. So when it came time to switch back to a normal schedule, it was kind of tough, so I'm still, more of a night owl.
I actually have to take melatonin because I am a night owl. My sleep cycle is different. I'm not saying from everybody, but just for me, it's different. I'm more alert in the morning. During the day, I kind of lose that alertness. But at night, I feel like I'm more alert than I was in the morning.
Usually the things that disrupt the circadian rhythm would be like my phone being next to me, because it's just one more thing where if it goes off, I automatically wake up and want to check it. Having the TV on can affect it, because then I want to see what's the next show.
Circadian rhythm can be thrown off by working at night, because you're up through the whole night into the morning. So going to sleep in the middle of the day may have you up again at night.
Whenever a new show on Netflix comes on, I kind of just tend to binge watch all the way through, and then I realize it's 5 a.m. and it's like, I need to go to bed. I just watched one episode after another.
So circadian rhythm, we do have a 24 hours, yeah. And the good indication is in the morning, the bright sunshine. So our body is kind of ready to kind of having the new day and wake up, yeah. And the nighttime kind of dark and sunset is going. Our brain, there's like a part. Suprachiasmatic nucleus. I mean, it's really long, but I'm so glad I successfully read those. So that part is really sensitive. It's under hypothalamus. It's located in the hypothalamus. So in our brain, everything is relating with our brain and our body, right? So in our brain, suprachiasmatic nucleus, which is located in the hypothalamus. Do you remember when you kind of put into your ear, maybe kind of connecting part? Those are thalamus, right? Those are thalamus. Every touching, hearing and see, those thalamus. Try to send those signals to the upper part of your brain. But under thalamus, right there, those are thalamus. Under thalamus, those are area of suprachiasmatic nucleus, which is really sensitive to the light. Yeah, so at nighttime, oh, it's dark. So kind of command through the pineal gland, you need to secrete melatonin. Yeah, so naturally, we do have those melatonin and make us sleepy. So underline, melatonin, I know some of you need to take the melatonin to have a good sleep, but most of us, naturally, our body release melatonin at nighttime. So kind of let us know, Daniel and Sarah, you need to go back to sleep because it's a nighttime. And we feel sleepy too. Those are more like our body rhythm, right? Circadian rhythm. But in the morning, around like 5 and 6, like a bright sunshine, those suprachiasmatic nucleus realize, oh, stop secreting, bless you, stop secreting melatonin because it's a bright, daytime. So stop secreting and we do not sleepy anymore and they kind of wake up. Yeah, those are naturally goals. Melatonin secreted at the nighttime. In the morning, stop secreting melatonin. So 24 hours circadian rhythm. But depending on you may need extra help. Taking melatonin as a medicine and then go back to sleep, right? So those are hypothalamus, located in the hypothalamus, suprachiasmatic nucleus, kind of let us know this is time for go to bed versus in the morning, maybe in the early morning, try to have a begin to your new life, right? Yeah. So underline, melatonin makes a person feel sleepy, but naturally released through our body and brain gives some signal, give to us, right? Okay. So let's talk about the other circadian rhythm and external cues. Those are inside the internal signal, right? Internally, our brain gives some signal. Oh, this is nighttime, secrete those melatonin. Oh, this is morning time, so maybe stop secreting. So external cue will be light, going outside. Looking at these people, they are doing some camping, maybe in Colorado. Yeah, and we do eat. Yeah, how many times do you eat, Daniel?
Just depends.
Okay.
I'd say about 3 times a day, but I mean, it really depends.
I see. Yeah, I mean, visually we do it like a breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So those in the eating time give us, oh, this is like a morning, I need to have some cereal, maybe coffee, right? And lunchtime, maybe I can have some hamburger, maybe pizza, a little kind of heavy meal. And the dinner time, maybe you can kind of choose, hang out with your friend. It can be maybe salsa and chips, or maybe some, regular rice and some fish. Yeah. So food can give you the cue. This is morning, coffee. Maybe lunch, maybe some hamburger. And maybe dinner, some maybe rice plate. Yeah. So give some cue. Yeah. And also shift to work. Have you ever worked at the night shift?
I mean, Army.
Yeah. So have you ever noticed your circadian rhythm kind of messed up and it doesn't work like before? So yeah, if
Or
you...
even like whenever you just gotta the time difference. So I was in Germany for 10 months, which is a 6 to 7 hour difference, and I came back over here. And
I see.
My rhythm was all messed up.
It's really hard to adjust. It will take at least 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah. Yeah. Is it longer than those, or
I mean,
like a jet lag?
I'd say I could almost do it in like 5 days, but.
Yeah, yeah. Because when I visit Korea, it's a time difference too. For example, right now it's a 10:44. So Korea will be, you need to plus 2. So 11 and 12:44. But it's a nighttime, not the daytime. It's the opposite.
So it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot, right? Yeah. So whenever I want to talk to my parents, I try to call them 7 here, like a nighttime, because it will be plus 2 will be 9, but it's their morning. So it will be like a 9 morning, so it's good time for them because they are already waking up like a 9 a.m. Yeah. So those are, like a kind of different zone. Yeah, it can be kind of messed up our circadian rhythm when we adjust, go back to United States, right? So we will talk about this one. This can be your good reflection paper topic. I mean, the due date reflection topic, paper is much later, but you can choose any of those topics, right? So Daniel, if you don't mind, could you read this? What's your take?
What's your take? Part 1. Many undergraduate students have worked the night shift, either part-time or full-time. Some of you may be doing so now. Others may have a friend or family member who has worked night shifts. What effect did it have on you? Did it disrupt your sleep? Did it negatively influence your health or happiness? And if so, how long did it take to notice these effects?
Okay, good. Thank you so much. So you can choose this topic. I realize many students like this one because they can share their experience. Yeah, I used to work in the Walmart at the night shift and maybe other places like a night shift. Or it doesn't need to be your experience. It can be somebody else, which is like your parents' experience, your brother and sister's experience. But you've been seeing it was really challenging for her and for them. So you can write down about those time difference and circadian rhythm and night shift experience. Daniel, you feel like this can be good topic you can kind of generate? Yeah. And you can, if you want to, you can choose this one for maybe explain about your maybe army experience, like a different. Yeah, so you can kind of write down if you want to, yeah. Okay, so let's talk about stages of sleep. This can be interesting because Daniel, you try to research about sleep pattern and REM sleep because you could not have a deep sleep, right? Yeah, so imagine when we say sleep, not everybody have those, going through light sleep and deep sleep and REM sleep and light sleep and deep sleep and REM sleep, depending on you. For example, we have a student here, Daniel could not have a deep sleep much comparing to maybe typical sleeping pattern. So those are kind of, going around and around. So when you're thinking about those REM sleep, underline REM. What does REM stand for? Very good, very good. So REM stands for rapid eye movement sleep. Yeah. And REM sleep versus non-REM sleep. Non-rapid eye movement sleep. So REM sleep during the why we call it like a REM sleep? Actually, when you're looking at a newborn baby, have you ever seen like a newborn baby is sleeping?
And their eyes are twitching everywhere.
Yes. I mean, it's supposed to be very, calm and, soft sleep, but you may kind of surprised because their eyelid is kind of closed, but their eyeball is kind of twitching and moving. So you may feel like, oh, what's going on here? So they're having REM sleep. Rapid eye movement sleep, and as a baby you make a lot of neurons and brain development is happen. So not necessarily they're dreaming. So that's really important that they are sleeping stages, REM sleep. And non-REM sleep, finally those are more like begin to have your good sleep. So stage 1 and stage 2, those are more like a light sleep. So it's a very sleepy, even like during the class, right? Some of you may fall in sleep during the class, right? So you feel like you're teacher is lecturing and talking certain concept, but you cannot pay attention and you don't, get anything and, just fell asleep. Those are like a light sleep, like a stage 1 and 2. Probably you do hear your teacher's voice, but you do not get any content, right? Those are like a light sleep, yeah, stage 1 and 2. And stage 3 is more like a deep sleep. Like a delta waves, brain waves wise, delta wave will be kind of released, and those are deep sleep, stage 3 and 4. So if you're looking at here, stage 1, portionally, more like we have a light sleep for a while, and going to those deep sleep, a very slow wave, like a deep sleep and delta wave will be released. Those are stage 3 and 4, and then REM. Rapid eye movement. So probably you may dream a little bit and then go back to stage 1 and 2. So we do have those cycle around 90 minutes, 60 minutes to 90 minutes. So that means if you sleep 7 hours, maybe 8 hours sleeping, we'll go like a 4 to 5 cycle. 4 to 5 cycle of stage 1 and 2 light sleep, and stage 3 and 4 deep sleep, and REM sleep, and then go like stage 1 and 2 light sleep and go over and over about like 4 to 5 times depending on how much you sleep. So we will go more detailed information here. So we explain about underlying REM, rapid eye movement sleep, and non-REM, which is not rapid eye movement sleep, more kind of stage go to deep sleep. So here, EEG, we talked a little bit about EEG last chapter. Those are one of the device. If you wear EEG, which is electroencephalography, you can kind of check your brain waves. While you are sleeping, how does your brain goes? So here, it doesn't go to your examine anything else, but for your information, alpha waves, theta waves, and delta waves. So when you kind of measure your brain wave, alpha and theta is more like a light sleeping, and delta sleep means like a delta wave means like a deep sleep. Maybe you can remember delta is related with deep sleep, like a delta and deep sleep. So here I will show the picture. Maybe Daniel, if you like your sleeping is getting serious and you cannot have a good enough sleep, you may talk to the doctor. Maybe is there any way you can check my brain wave using those devices, because it's easy. Maybe you can borrow those devices. Maybe because infant, they can wear those devices, and maybe people can check their brain wave. So maybe you can wear those in a device and check your brain. Fitbit is good because it's more handy, but if you want to have more detailed information, maybe it can be the good option like EEG. So when you wear, it will check awake, and brain wave, and stage 1 light sleep, even maybe you still like, oh, I want to sleep, but maybe not fully sleep, you're kind of awake a little bit, twitching your body, and stage 2 kind of try to go back to, go to more deeper sleep. And stage 3 and 4 is more deep sleep. Delta wave will be released to like a more slow wave, and then REM sleep. If you're looking at the REM sleep, those brain wave, awake and stage 1, it's more similar, right? Because that means awake. REM sleep, you are sleeping. Your eyelid is kind of closed, but your eyeball is keep moving. That means your brain is still activating and thinking, making some story. And Daniel said you probably dream a lot and almost like every night. That means even though you're sleeping 8 hours, maybe your brain doesn't take a break. It still kind of keep going on, right? That's why you feel maybe a little tired, even though you have 7 to 8 hours sleeping. Yes. So the REM sleep, rapid eye movement, brain wave speed up and dreaming occurs. Usually for the adult, the dreaming will be occur during those REM sleep. So those are stage 1 through REM sleep, going those cycle 4 to 5 times, depending on how much hours do you sleep per day. So here, people say REM sleep is more like a paradoxical sleep because, seems like you're sleeping, your eyelid is closed, but your brain is actively, running and try to make some story. Okay, here. let's talk about sleep. In the United States, we do usually sleep one time, like a night time. Yeah. But anybody, you do take a nap? So Daniel, do you take a nap? Not really.
Sometimes.
Sometimes?
But that really messes up my sleep schedule.
Okay.
I already get headaches a lot as is, but for some reason, if I nap, no matter how long, it'll give me a headache.
Okay.
And then I just can't fall back asleep whenever it's time to fall asleep.
I see.
30-minute nap will literally make me stay up till like 3 in the morning.
Okay. Yeah, because, when I kind of talk about the sleeping chapter, I realize, college students who live in their dorm, during between those classes, they go back to, sleep, like taking a nap. Some of them take a nap for 30 minutes and 1 hour, 2 hours, and they said it's really recharging and refreshing. So I don't know, maybe 1 hour and 2 hours can be too much, but sorry, Cookie, yeah.
I've done a little bit of research, and it said that statistically, I think I can't even think an astronaut naps about 15 to 20 minutes, and that's it, and that's enough to get your brain back good. If you do any longer, it'll be worse.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Yeah, I feel like maybe 10 minutes power nap, like a 15-minute power nap. That will be really good for you, but I guess over 20 and 30, you cannot, sleep well at the nighttime, your real sleep time. So, for me, I do not take a nap too either, but I guess it can be good if you can kind of having power nap for 10 minutes and 15 minutes and recharge your body and keep working, maybe study and maybe other things. That would be really cool. So thinking about that, in the United States, we do sleep once, like at the nighttime, and Korea too, only once. But Mexico, there's like a fiesta, so they kind of having official some nap time, and also in where is that? Italy. One of my friends, they went to Italy for the mission for 2 years, and she kind of shared about the system of Italy. They will have some like a time, like a break time. So it can be your nap time, maybe hanging out time. So they're working about like 11 and 11:30, and about 2 hours a kind of break. Yeah, until like 1 and 1:30. Every public those like a post office is closed. Yeah, for 2 hours. And you can take a nap, you can go back home and then have lunch with your spouse, and then maybe everything kind of begin to around 1:30 and 2. So that means they're going to have a very late dinner. Maybe that's why European people, they enjoy some wine and beers, all those alcohol beverage, talking and hanging out at the nighttime. Yeah, nighttime. So having like official dinner time starting from like 7 or 8, because they took a nap and take a break until like 2, and then go having another meal like 5 and 6, just like us. Maybe it's 2, maybe short, right? So they're gonna have dinner maybe 7 and 8 and 9. So go back to sleep kind of later, yeah. But maybe we can do it in that way, yeah. So thinking about that, which one do you prefer to have a one time, those sleeping, or maybe in the middle of the day, would you like to have some nap time and go to?
I would do it all at one night.
Okay, everything finished, done, and then go back home and then having a good enough sleeping time, right? Yeah, so it's interesting, but depending on the country, so monophasic, we are more monophasic, one time sleeping time, and biphasic, like 2 times in the middle of the day, they have a little like a break time, and then you can take a nap and those. And polyphasic is like a couple of times, maybe in the morning, maybe 1 hour, 11 to 12, in the afternoon, like 3 to 4, yeah. Maybe certain country, they can do it in that way. But for me, we do not used to in that way. So it's more like a disruption of my, yeah. So, but I guess when we really need to take a break and maybe sleep, maybe 10 minutes, just like Daniel told us, maybe 15 minutes. Maybe maximum like 20 minutes will be ideal.
The hard part there is figuring out when you actually had fallen asleep. Because that's my problem. It takes me a long time to fall asleep.
Ah,
for some
yeah.
reason. Sometimes I can pass out right away, but like, how do you set an alarm
Uh-huh.
for 30 minutes if
Yeah.
it takes you 20 minutes to sleep? You know what
Yes,
I mean?
yes.
It makes me
Yeah, yeah, that kind of, maybe it doesn't work to us, right? Okay, so let's talk about a little bit about sleeping pattern during the puberty. So I will ask you, so when you're in maybe high school, because since we are talking about high school here, so high school, what time do you need to go to school?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Okay, 8 o'clock. So, I mean, do you feel like it's too early or maybe it's okay to you?
I think that was fine.
That was
I didn't
fine.
mind waking up at 8. If it was any earlier than 8, like if you had to go to do sports or something early, then
Uh-huh.
I didn't like that.
Okay, okay. Yeah. So, as a high school, when you are in high school, did you have a good sleep, like 7 to 8 hours as well?
Yeah, my parents forced me to.
Okay. I mean, that's really good, guidance for you because everything as a teenager going through junior high and high school, sleep deprivation, that's the really every kind of trigger kind of happening over there. So if you do not have a good enough sleep, maybe I can kind of share here. Smoking. Maybe some unwanted relationship, sexual relationship with somebody else, and cannot concentrate on the school, and every kind of suicide ideation even can happen if you do not have a good enough sleep, like a less sleep than 8 hours. It's not like a definite thing, but sleeping and sleep deprivation can be relating with other delinquent behavior and maybe in the wrong way. So sleeping is such an important element. So if maybe somebody suffer any drinking, maybe smoking, and any relationship issue, our maybe suggestion will be please have a good enough sleep for the teenagers, right? Because that's the one of the thing you can kind of think more. Maybe fool your conscience, right? And try to make a good decision, but still brain development-wise, prefrontal lobe is still developing during, puberty and adolescence. So it can be challenging, but sleeping can be the one of the important element to help you to think about that situation and do not making a wrong decision. So sleeping, we need to think about that as a very serious element. Okay, so here, maybe here. Okay, so here, one of the things is high school, if you start like a 7:30, I think 7:30 can be challenging, very early. That means you need to get up. So then your school, you need to go 8 a.m. What time do you usually get up?
I got up at 6:30.
6:30 and try to prepare and eat breakfast. Yeah, and even though your time is 8, you need to get up 6:30, right? Just like that. So when you kind of your time, you need to be there by 7:30. You need to get up at least like a 6 and prepare, right? Yeah, maybe shower and have some breakfast and get ready and dress up. So I guess that's the 6:30, yeah, versus like 8:30. So they make a decision. In Kentucky, one of the high school, their starting time starting from 7:30 to 8:30, 1 hour later. And try to see, it's like a research. They want to do some research. What's the consequences when we have a little open later, 1 hour later? Yeah, so realize, yeah, if you kind of compare like 11th grade and 12th grades and 11th grade, when you kind of compare those, when you are having 7:30 in the morning versus like 8:30 in the morning, they can have more good sleep night. Yeah, because you can sleep more because you don't need to get up 6, but you can kind of get up maybe 7, right? Yeah. So that's the thing. And making up during the weekend. So I want to ask you, Daniel. So during the weekend, did you make up lots of sleeping time? Sleep more, but
Whenever I was in high school.
Yeah.
I feel like I slept less on the weekends because I got to finally go and stay the night at my friends or something.
Okay. Because in Daniel's case, you try to have a good sleep, like a 7 to 8 hours, because your parents kind of push you to in that direction. So even like during the weekend, you can enjoy more your freedom, right? Yeah. So, but most of them, with typical high schoolers, they may kind of spend too much like nighttime, kind of keep scrolling their phones, and maybe not much good enough sleep, and maybe lots of assignment they need to do. too. So in that sense, during the weekend, they kind of sleep a lot. Yeah. But if they have a game like a football and basketball, they cannot sleep either, but try to make up their sleeping time. So that was happening during the adolescent. And there are lots of consequences, negative consequences if you do not have a good sleep, especially those adolescent period. Okay, let's talk about sleep abnormalities related with the sleep. Insomnia. So insomnia is, when we're thinking about insomnia, oh, that's really hard abnormality, but almost like 30% of people, they may have those experience. So insomnia means not only you cannot fall in asleep, if you do not have a good quality sleep, that's the part of the insomnia. Yeah, honestly, Daniel, you do have 8 hours sleeping, but your sleeping is not like a fully deep sleep. So it can be part of you're experiencing part of the insomnia too, because it's not a good quality sleep. So that means during the daytime, you feel sleepy a little bit and tired easily because your sleep is not solid, like 8 hours. Yeah. Yeah, so those are insomnia, but don't worry. Many people do suffer and hard time to get into the sleep and having, sustain those good quality sleep. So anything would you like to recommend? What would be like a good solution to have a good sleep?
Make sure you actually do something that burns a lot of energy.
Okay, so during the daytime,
Like
you may study and
so
maybe
you're
move your...
tired at night.
Yeah, kind of move your body and maybe exercise and try to concentrate on your work. Yeah. Have you ever tried to maybe drinking milk? Have you ever tried? No? Mm-hmm. People say drinking milk maybe help you.
Huh.
Yeah?
I just find if I'm going to go to bed, I just, right before bed, I don't want to be doing anything that uses a lot of my mind. I want to start calming down, maybe read or something, do something like that. So my mind isn't still running like crazy when I go to bed.
Very good, very good. And maybe, but people say you need to stop checking email or social media. Maybe you need to phone away, and maybe do not having any distractions. So focusing on sleeping. Maybe listen to calm music. Maybe some relaxation breathing exercise. And have you ever tried any of those or?
Not really.
Okay.
Most like I said, my brain just runs like crazy. So like if I have anything going on around me, whether it's music or so I try and stay quiet. Like even just a clicking on my fan, sometimes I can't sleep with it.
I see. Yeah. You shared with us even like a door knob sound, you kind of wake up.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe no music for you. Because I heard several students kind of share, they kind of find the relaxation music, and then that's really helped them to somehow they just fell asleep listening to their music. But maybe it's not working for everybody, for sure.
People listen to white noise to go to sleep.
Yeah, some like water sounds and the rain sound. Yes, good. So insomnia. So let's talk about other sleep abnormalities too. So sleepwalking. Have you ever heard about like a sleepwalking? Maybe when you are young, maybe sleepwalking experience when you are young, maybe several times. So maybe your parents would tell you about the story about sleepwalking a little bit.
Well, I think I've only caught myself doing it one time. But,
okay.
Like I woke up in another room standing up. I was like, wait a second, why am I in here?
Okay. So you do still remember those?
I think I was dreaming that I was walking into that room and having a conversation with my dad. And then I woke up and I was like aware.
Yeah, you feel like a strange
and weird feeling.
Yes. When was it? Like elementary?
I was living in Louisiana at that time. So I was probably about 10 or 11.
Okay, so that's why you still remember kind of vividly. Yeah, so sleepwalking, it can happen to anybody, but people say if you do suffer so many times like a sleepwalking, genetic reasons, probably maybe their parents having some sleepwalking experience, like a genetic element is pretty high, and heredity, like those genetic element is pretty high, maybe stressful situation. Stressful situation. One of my friends, she wanna lose weight. She wanna lose weight, and she's doing well. She tried to not to eat and try to eat very healthy food during the daytime. But nighttime, maybe suddenly she just kind of wake up and try to eat, maybe kind of devouring everything from the refrigerator. And she lives alone, so she was kind of freaking out. Somebody kind of invade my house, but actually she kind of put the camera on it and realized that's her. So lots of stress. I want to lose weight and I cannot eat those food. But at the nighttime, you just walk around and eat. Yeah. So stress can make you sleepwalking behavior, and psychological disorder possibly, but not exactly. It can be hereditary reason, and it can happen only during the like early childhood. Most of you do not remember much. Your parents tell you just kind of walking around in the living room when you are maybe age 5 and 6. So actually, when the sleepwalking is happen, you do not remember. When you wake up, maybe you feel like a perplexed, but I guess we do not remember because it will happen during the deep sleep.
That's probably why it doesn't happen much for me.
Okay. It's usually happen like a deep sleep, not the light sleep, so you can remember clear. It's not happening during the REM sleep, because REM sleep, we do it like in the dream, right? REM sleep, you may have those feeling, because when you dream, you have those feeling like a scary, maybe happy and joyful. You do have those feeling right after waking up the dream, right? But it's happened during those deep sleep, so you have no idea. And it can be dangerous when you kind of walk around on your in the living room. Maybe there's maybe a bunch of other stuff. Maybe you can kind of fall down because of some toys, right? So as a parent, if your children suffer some sleepwalking, you need to remove, clean, because they may walk and fall down because they do not remember, got some hurt and broke, yeah? So linked to the psychological disorder means it can be relating to some depression and anxiety, but not necessarily, but it can happen, suddenly happen, just like my friend, want to like lose weight and lots of stress, but at the nighttime you just kind of eat whatever you want, right? Yeah, that's the sleepwalking. Somnambulism, other way. Okay, so let's cover one more here. So sleep abnormality, one of the things like narcolepsy and sleep terrors and sleep apnea. Narcolepsy is you're waking up, you're good, but suddenly you kind of sleep into like a REM sleep. Do you still remember what does the REM stand for? Rapid
eye movement.
Yes, very good, very good. So imagine you just kind of wake and kind of having conversation between you and your friend. You just kind of fell asleep, like a REM sleep, and feeling like you are dreaming. Yeah, I mean, it will be okay during like conversation with your friend. Imagine you are driving. You are driving alone, your car, and when you suffer severe, narcolepsy, you may fall asleep. And it can be really a big, accident, right? So it can be really dangerous. If you suffer narcolepsy, driving can be really challenging you, because even like a long driving, maybe 1 hour, maybe middle of the driving, you may fall asleep, because those are sleep abnormalities. Usually typical people, we do not, even though you fell asleep, maybe driving on that, flower pot, but, we are going to wake up. But it's kind of abnormality, so it can be really dangerous. So second one is sleep terrors. I know you do dream a lot, so sometimes you do have like a nightmare.
Yeah, I
Yeah?
definitely had nightmares. And I also was going to say with that REM sleep instantaneously, I feel like all of us has done that at some point, where you're like, say, in class, and then you just like don't notice it, but you fall asleep and you instantly dream of a basketball being thrown at your face, and you flinch and move real quick.
That's right. So sleep terror and sleep, like nightmares, it's a little different, because sleep terrors will happen during like a more deep sleep, so you do not remember much. But nightmare is happening during the REM sleep, so you just remember as one of your dream story. So sleep terror is more like a panic attack. Suddenly happen and you feel like I'm dying. Those are like a panic attack symptom. Just because sleep terror is you feel really not good, like scary and panic and sweating, but you do not remember anything. So those are more like a sleep terror. But nightmare, oh, that was really horrible, like a dream, right? You do remember like roughly some feeling and the story a little bit. Those are more like a nightmare, because nightmare is happening during the REM sleep, rapid eye movement. Those are like a dreaming stages. And sleep terrors is happening deep sleep. Yeah, deep sleep. Okay, so we've been talking, oh yeah, maybe I can explain a little bit. Sleep apnea. Sleep apnea. Do you snore when you sleep, Daniel? No? Yeah. I do snore whenever I feel very tired too. But this is like a more relating sleep abnormalities, which means you do snore. Usually people kind of snore and then stop breathing. Like a maybe kind of stop. And they cannot, breathe, yeah, and they kind of hold their, breath, right? And it can be really dangerous because you need to breathe, yeah. It's happening during the nighttime. So we will talk more about sleep apnea this Thursday. And this Thursday, I invited one of our faculty members. She's gonna do like a mindfulness exercise together. So that will be really cool. I know when you sleep, you try to kind of concentrate on your sleeping, but even a small sound really bother you, right? Yeah. So what would be like your kind of in a bedroom situation? Try to maybe close everything and even like all the